Yeah, the reverse does need adjusted.
Oh.
So, what's on the agenda?
Shock upgrades, air filter. We're not doing exhaust. Zip tie the.
No, we're going to do exhaust.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
Oh,
sure.
okay. Don't touch that.
That's a muffler.
Exhaust, air filter, zip tie the governor, shocks, and possibly valve springs.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see how she blows. We do have ghost.
If she blows up, we're definitely gonna have to do valve springs.
So, if you watched our last episode, this is a Duromax 440. We bought this, or Lonnie bought this Deuce for $500 with the engine, everything. Only thing we had to do is put a Go Power Sports 780 CVT drive pulley. Now, that muffler saw it, which is the one on the engine. We had to put it on there, and then we put literally a few bolts in that tie rod, and that's it. So, this episode, we're going to get a little bit more horsepurs out of it. All right, first up is the muffler. I think we have some headers laying around that we modified that will work right off the bat. So go ahead and strip her off there, Big Daddy.
Which would be amazing. You want to grab it or? I'm sure it's hot.
Boom.
Drop
and
it.
our gasket is still good, so that's real nice. There we got it. Mother, the bottom hotter than the top. Don't need you no more.
Get on out of my life.
We do have this one. I'd say that's it.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Okay, so we're going to need to put some washers because these studs are super long. So we're going to need to grab a good stack of...
Quarter.
Yeah, 1/4 inch. Just bring the whole box. So we're going to have to weld on a Go Power Sports Performance muffler. Air box.
Gone.
Gone. You know, if you want to go ultra cheap, you don't have to run an air box. Like we can run this filter. You know what I mean? This is still considered an open filter. And it actually filters really well. It don't breathe as good as the K&N, but it blocks more material, like particles. 10 back here. You gotta choke it, shut the fuel off, and pull that thing right out there. And then this vacuum line from the valve cover is gonna run down to the ground for the health of the earth. So we got a Go Power Sports K&N style filter with the pre-filter. These are semi-waterproof. If water splashes on them, it'll beat it off instead of letting them go through the filter. A lot better design than they used to have, so this is actually an upgrade. So that'll sit like so. So let me slide on this. Air filter adapt trail. Make sure you got it on there right. Looks like I'm gonna have to run a washer because these studs are a little too long on this Duramax. Alrighty, Phillips head please, Lonnie. It should be in the flow where we was working.
That's nice, because that's what happened.
We're gonna have to pull off this. Maybe. Oh, great.
Right, knock it over.
We have Go Power Sports Performance muffler. So I'm hoping we can cut some of this off and slide it on there. It'll be too much if we slide it down there and I got another one. It's okay. And on the bottom of these cards, you have a 10 mil. Oh yeah. As soon as we crack this, we're gonna start leaking some gas. So let me grab a catch can. Now it's gonna drizzle down. Once the gas empties out, we can pull that bowl and pull the jet out. It's got some grime in the bottom of it. So, oh, it's rust. So that's fine. Okay, so this O-ring sometimes can be a pain, but it sets in a seat in that carb. So we'll have to make sure we get it lined up or your bowl's gonna leak gas. Sometimes you have an emulsion tube in there. We'll get this jet swapped out with a new jetted up one. To make sure the O-ring gets up in there all the way, isn't sticking out. Let's see if it leaks. We got the new jet in there. Now we got to do the exhaust, and Lonnie's about to weld the muffler on. Oh, Bill. Oh, easy.
Easy peasy.
Get her good and tight. All right, ready to give her a fire? Go flip the front switch. Okay, next is the zip tie trick. There's a spring in here, and we can put a zip tie through the spring, keeping it from being able to stretch, and it'll let us overpower the governor. Now I'm gonna say this once, do not do this unless you got a billet flywheel. It's not worth risking your life over, for sure. Because this flywheel shatter, it could go through that seat, through this flywheel shroud. It is going to put a hurting on somebody. So please do this with a billet flywheel. Of course we got one.
And heavier springs.
Yeah, heavier valve springs, because you're going to bend these valves pretty easy if you hold her to the wood in the field. Like, we can go out and ride it and get on it real quick, but don't stay in it, let off. But definitely do the flywheel if not anything. But the valve springs are so cheap, why not? Just go ahead and do them. But that's sweet. Blowing. It's probably running a hair bit rich, that's why it's backfiring. But I don't care. I'd rather be rich than lean. So a rich engine will backfire. A lean engine will not.
A lean engine will blow up.
Yes. Overheat and blow. Okay, I got this thing straddled like an old Bronco. You see the spring right here. So basically, to bypass the governor, you're going to put a zip tie through the center of this spring, loop it back around, and zip tie it to itself. Don't get it too tight, or you'll make it throttle. Like, you'll go to start it, and the sun's gonna take off like a friggin' rocket. The only thing you're doing,
zip tying a spring,
and just snugging it. You're not. That's it, and that zip tie is going to keep that spring from expanding. So what you're going to do is overpower the internal governor with the throttle pedal. That's all you're doing. After doing modifications like this, jack up the rear end, put it on jack stands or something, get the back tires off the ground, and start it. And make sure it ain't going to take off like a mother flipping rocket through your neighbor's garden. So we're going to snip this.
Unless you just really hate your neighbor.
Yeah, and then that's up to you. You do you, boo-boo. pretty sure
Yeah.
that briar's still in it.
Yeah, it's bleeding.
Oh man, that's a hoot and a half.
With a better seat for sure.
Better seat and the new shocks.
And brakes. And steering.
No, the brakes lock up.
Yeah.
It's just rear brakes only suck. Like only having rear brakes is what.
Well, they'll lock up, but like slowing down.
You're sliding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, front brakes wouldn't be no big deal. I could do like we did on
Did you feel the difference in turning from left to right though?
yeah.
There's
for sure.
no left turning.
We're ending this video just like we ended the last. This Deuce, I'm gonna go ahead and say, is by far the best go-kart you can buy for the money.
Oh yeah, it's built great. Everything on here is pretty well built. And for $500, you won't ever hear me complain about it.
Yeah, and you can find them like this all the time. It's rare to find them with the diff, like we've been saying. That Comex diff is a rare oddity, but you got to be easy in reverse. Forward gear is pretty strong. Dude, I'm thinking we're going to get a lot of good use out of this thing before. I mean, I don't think we should touch it.
Blast in the woods.
Oh, for sure. It looks like the gas tank's leaking a little bit, which is dangerous with the backfires. That's a 670 all over again. So what I think needs to happen is the gas tank needs removed off the engine for sure while we're running this style suspension, because that's just sloshing. That's asking for a problem. I got some boo-boos. I'll show you. They're bleeding out.
It looked worse before you rubbed it.
Briars slapped me in the face. I had a helmet on, just the lens was shut, but that was a great purchase for sure. Sorry for the face. I'm pretty sure briars are still in my skull. Make sure to check out the links in the video's description. We have all these parts. Literally, this was like a little over $100 worth of parts. So now we're in it. We was in it before, $800.
So 900.
I think it's like $950 with the performance muffler, header, and stage 1 kit, whatever, the air filter and jet. So make sure to do not remove your governor or modify your governor with stock flywheel. Super dangerous, Lonnie, jerk. And but stay tuned. We're going to build up this engine. We're going to do better suspension. Next episode on the Deuce, this thing's going to get wow. This is Lonnie's race vehicle.
Yeah.
For our race.
So this is my vehicle, literally, and for the Backwoods Brawl
1000,
next year.
yeah. Which is, yeah, in the springtime, where Cars and Cameras, Taranis, a bunch of people's coming down. We're going to race a bunch of big block or smaller, unlimited performance mods. You can do whatever you want, as long as you have one big block, or you can have 2 small blocks if you want.
But this will be stage 4 for that.
Yeah, stage 4 and independent rear, I think. So we'll come up, put names for this olive down there in the comments section. But thank you guys for watching. We love you, and God bless.